than 100,000 hits. So we did want to talk about more about who is behind this controversial Islamic center that we have been talking so much about. And we've heard quite a bit about the mosque's religious leader and his alleged links to groups that support terror. But we haven't heard much from the real estate developer who is behind the project. CNN's Deb Farrick caught up with him earlier.
This is where you sort of conceived of the idea?
Yes, it is.
Meet New York real estate developer Sharif El-Gamal, the man at the center of a controversial plan a stone's throw from the World Trade Center site.
This is a Muslim-led project. This is an Islamic community center that will cater to all of New York. Fitness, gym, and basketball courts.
Plans include a performing arts center, swimming pool, child care facilities, and yes, a Muslim prayer space to block the worst terror attack in U.S. history.
Why not have a prayer space for Buddhists or Jews or Christians, or why must it be Muslim? It can't just be a business decision.
There are Jewish community centers all over the country.
But the Jews didn't take down 2 towers.
There are YMCAs all over the country.
But the Christians didn't take down 2 towers.
And this is a need that exists.
For those who are still sensitive and so raw to this, their overriding question is, why here? Why so close? It's 2 blocks, but it was close enough that landing gear ended up on the roof. Why?
There is a need. It's supply and demand. The community wants it. The politicians are supporting it.
Maybe, but many who attended a town hall meeting recently were dead set against it.
Have we forgotten what happened at 9/11?
What happened that day is not Islam. What happened that day is terrorism.
Coming out of that hearing, somebody said the Japanese would never have dared to build on Pearl Harbor. What makes this different?
If you were at that hearing the way that I was at that hearing, you come out understanding that there is a great need for dialogue now.
El-Gamal says many people don't understand Islam, but does that make it Islamophobia?
100%.
Why?
Because the moderate voice of Islam is not coming out.
Can you guarantee that this center will root out extremism or completely reject any extremists that try to get into it?
100%. We will not tolerate extremism. We will not tolerate extremism.
And yet, critics say the religious leader, Imam Faisal Abdul Rauf, has links to groups that support terror.
Imam Faisal is one of the most moderate Muslims that exists in this country today.
Will you reject any money that comes either directly or indirectly from any person, any country, any organization, any corporation that has any links to terrorism? Will you be doing due diligence?
We are going to be doing extreme due diligence, and we are going to hire the best security experts in the country to help us walk through the process, and we plan on being very transparent throughout the whole process.
For those who would say this is not an olive branch to greater understanding, this is more an act of defiance, how would you answer those people?
This is an olive branch.
Deborah Farrick is joining us right now. And Deb, just to be clear here, landmark status may be pending, but this thing is getting built no matter what. It doesn't really matter, right?
That's exactly right. It's a done deal. The developer owns the land. He owns the building. The question is, if he gets the approval, he can tear down the existing facility. If he doesn't get the approval, then he just builds the Islamic Cultural Center and that mosque space within the existing building.
So why does El-Gamal feel so very strongly about this? Because clearly he does.
You know, it's so interesting because the difference is the mainstream moderate Muslims compared to the extremists. And he says that he wants a place for his 2 daughters so they can go there. They can feel connected both culturally and religiously to an institution. And he hopes that people will come and learn and share what moderate mainstream Islam is all about.
Did he look at any other buildings?
He did. That was a big question. All the buildings he looked at, this is New York City, he says. This is the reality of real estate. He says it's a coincidence that it happens to be 2 blocks from ground zero.
All right, well, we'll see how this all plays out. I don't think it's over yet. Regardless, Deborah Farrick, really appreciate it, Deb. Thanks. Larry King.